Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin, and I want to do this video as a tribute to Tim Duncan, who retired July 11th. It's July 12th as I'm doing this video, late July 12th. Probably uploaded July 13th. What I want to talk about is his impact to the game, what I think about him as a fan, and just overall how he handled himself as a professional athlete, as an NBA player. Also where he stands all time, because I'm definitely going to mention that. First, before I mention anything else, the Spurs need to build a statue of this man. He definitely deserves a statue. He's been an integral part to them winning 5 championships, getting to the final 6 times, and just a consistent success. Even when they didn't win championships, even when the team weren't as good as some years, he was always the guy there. He was always one of the driving forces, behind these teams having great regular seasons, making it to the playoffs. No matter if they win or lose in the playoffs, he was getting them to the playoffs. And you get to the playoffs, you got a chance. A lot of people credit Popovich, which he definitely is a brilliant basketball mind. But in all those Popovich years, who was there majority of the time? Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was usually the guy that was there, even as a young player. I remember, I believe like a few days ago, I watched some of the '99 NBA Finals, and this is Tim Duncan's 2nd season, and this guy was in there doing moves like it was his 8th, 9th season. Like he was competing against these guys for years, and game was so polished. Rarely nowadays do you even get guys who have a polished game like that. And I know, it's Tim Duncan. He's a legend. He's almost one of a kind player. You don't get too many players just walking through your door who are come in that polished, that skilled, and you give credit to him. You give credit to the Spurs coaching staff, but you also give credit to Wake Forest, who did a good job of preparing him. And he's one of those guys where he's going to listen to his coaches, even at this point in his career, where he probably could he could be a big douchebag. You got 5 championship rings. You're pretty much a Hall of Famer, 3 Finals MVPs, 2 league MVPs. Should have had a Defensive Player of the Year over Marcus Camby. But that's another story. But he's still taking in advice from coaches. You just see him, you see him on the bench. You see him, congratulating his teams. He's a team guy. It's more about the team. He's about winning. He's willing to do whatever it takes to win. You got a lot of players who care about winning, but want to win their way. They want to win their way, probably more than likely gunning. But he was a guy. He was willing to take that back seat. Same thing David Robinson did with him by letting Duncan be the main guy. You saw Duncan, guys like Tony Parker was, as he got better, they allowed him to, he allowed him to take a little bit more of that offensive load. Another reason why he was able to play so long. Also, with a guy like Kawhi, he saw this guy really start to grow. He saw the 2013 NBA Finals. They did lose that. I thought Duncan played well in that one. But then in 2014, you really saw a guy like Kawhi started to play really well. And then at that point, Duncan, I want to say the last 3 or 4 years, he really didn't get plays ran for him. Every now and then he'll get a post up, but you can see his field goal attempts went down. Percentage went down slightly. Points per game obviously is going to go down when your percentage goes down slightly and the field goal attempts go down. So obviously he's not going to score as many points. Rebounding, of course, is going to go down, but his minutes went down. But one thing that really doesn't show up in the stat sheet is just his impact defensively. Yeah, people say block steals, but that doesn't tell the entire story of what he was able to provide to the San Antonio team, even in the twilight years. And, you saw him. He changed a lot of shots at the rim, played good post defense, played good pick and roll defense, despite his of course his foot speed being decreased at this advanced age. You still saw he still did all these things well. Good position defense, and he provided that mentor role for guys like Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, any of these guys that, most of these young guys that were coming in. He provided that mentor role along with Tony Parker, along with Manu Ginobili. But Duncan is the guy. The once he was a superstar for that team. I'm pretty sure the people in San Antonio, people in Texas, Spurs fans can't really say much bad about him. And as I'm gonna say a real fan, not some of these fans who only like to see these high flying dunks or highlight reel plays. I like to see a guy like Duncan. There's nothing wrong with high flying plays, but Duncan was substance. He was never that super athlete that could do all that stuff. But what he could do is get you buckets. Referring to his prime, he could get you buckets. He could get you stops, and he could be the anchor on a championship basketball team. That's shown. Go look at the 2003 playoffs. There are other years, 99, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2014, the times where they won. But go look at that 2003 playoff run, and you can see why this guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I know I mentioned how he was able to take a backseat role, and how many players, superstars, Hall of Fame players, aren't willing to do that. And I think it just speaks as a testament to him as a player. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. What do you think about Tim Duncan's career? What would you rank him all time? Which he's definitely in my top 10. Don't know, not really a specific number, but he's definitely easily in the top 10. I don't see how you can argue him really outside of the top 10. But let me know what you think down in the comment section about everything I talked about. Like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.